welcome back to the Brownie Chat. Another week, another episode.
Episode 34.
Oh yeah, 34.
Is it actually? I don't know.
Yes, it is. Yeah, episode 34. Back.
Do you ever listen back to these and go, why do I sound like that?
No. I'm so used to it.
Because I literally listen, I guess when you're editing, but every time I listen back to it, I'm like, do I actually sound like that?
One,
I'm going to change the way I'm speaking.
And two,
from now on. That is disgusting.
And two, we only ever hear what we sound like from other people. But if you close your ears, if you muffle your ears and speak, you can. That's exactly how others hear you, because you're now enclosed. Try it. You're now enclosing.
Do you like my voice? I've had people say to me they like my voice, but I don't understand because I don't like them. No, you do. You're the one who's said that. Hello, my name is Aisha.
And now speak without it.
Hello. Oh!
Yeah. So if you
okay.
because that's how.
Hey, how are you doing? Do you want to go for a date tonight?
What is wrong with you? You got a problem.
I was talking to you actually.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Are you on the phone?
Yeah, this is 911.
Oh.
It's 999, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah, you said you had something you wanted to talk about. I don't know what it is.
Why did you talk like this?
So you said you had something you wanted to talk about. No, this is you.
Watch my eyes. So you said... That's how you talk.
Just carry on. Tell me, what is it you wanted to speak about?
Firstly, I think we should have a guest on soon.
How about... No.
Why?
Are you like far away?
Yeah, I want to be near you.
No, you need to actually come in.
That's okay though. Still in the shop. Just don't like you really. Just because you're bloody like want to be so close to me all the time.
Oh, shut up.
I don't really like you.
Okay, and what do you want to talk about?
Why are you bored already?
Because you haven't answered the question you've been saying, so say it.
Okay, so I was listening to this podcast called The Digital Sisterhood.
Oh, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, and so this girl came on and she was talking about like her life and stuff, and how she realised that in order to kind of be happy within herself. Stop it! I'm actually being serious.
Oh right, yeah.
What?
This is what you do when I tell a story. All right, yeah. Come on, get to it.
In order for her to be happy.
Yeah. In order for her to get to.
Yeah, I'm just.
That's not nice, is it?
I don't care.
Anyway, carry on. Yeah.
She has to like cut out negative people, like negativity, like negative energy, negative people, in order to like succeed, to be a better Muslim, to be a better friend, to be a better person in general, and also to kind of, essentially be happy, and to kind of make those steps towards her business, or she'll say, or her own mental health, and also just like her family and friends. And so I was going to ask you, like, do you feel like, because I know there's people in your life that you could ease, and this is what she said, if you look at your phone and go back to your messages from the last 3 days, or like a week, let's say the past week, whoever you've contacted recently in the last week, and read the messages, or just think about like how they are in your life, how they represent you, and how they behave around you, and how they make a difference, would you say yes, yes, or would you be like, as in, yeah, I'd keep them in my life, or actually no, I'd probably be better off without them. So I'm not talking about the last 7 days, but do you have people in your life, you don't say names and things like that, in your life?
Well, now everyone else watching.
It doesn't matter, I'm being serious. In your life that you're thinking, yeah, okay, I'm friends with you, but actually you don't benefit me in any way. Or you might benefit me because you might go out for coffee in here and there, for example. But like I'm talking about overall, like I'm thinking, if I think about myself, I'm just going to give you an example, like there's... Actually no, you go and then I'll...
No, you give your...
No, you go.
Give your example.
No, go, because then I'm going to end up talking about my example. I want to know you first. So is there anyone...
There's definitely probably people that bring a negative energy, which obviously the more you surround yourself around that, the more it kind of absorbs you, and then you start being like that, or you start having a similar type of mannerisms and mindset to that.
No, I was just going to say, she said the same thing, that they started draining her, and
So-
also like she then couldn't again make those steps forward. She felt like she was going backwards.
I feel like maybe in the past as well, if these people or person or whatever wasn't there.
You can tell me who these are, by the way.
No.
Are
If these people or like whatever weren't there in my life years ago, I might have been in a different situation now, and it might have had a different butterfly effect to what I'm doing now, and maybe I would have had...
Isn't it domino effect?
No, butterfly. Domino is like something else. Butterfly is something else. Anyway, so maybe like I might have had the courage to, or the opportunity to start something sooner, or do more for myself.
Okay, but I'm talking about currently in your life. Like, could you?
There's so many people I could just cut out.
Yeah.
So many people that I would,
Even
for my
like,
own benefit, yeah.
Even like, I forget, like obviously I know your circle, but I'm just saying, even like those people in your circle, like you know for years and years, do you like, forget? Sometimes people think, oh, but I've known them 10 years. Like, why would I cut them out? But I'm not saying there's anyone in your life. I'm just saying, like, do you feel like that maybe there is someone in your life that actually, yes, they've been in my life since I was 5 years old, or 1 year old, or even like 17 years old, but actually now the way I am today, who I want to become in the next 5 years, are they actually going to impact me, or are they going to make me a better person? Are they supporting me? Are they going to back me through if I decide
I don't
to
really
change?
have that many friends.
No, I'm not talking about friends, like I'm talking about family as well. Friends and family.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. And I feel like if they weren't around, like I said, if they weren't around before, my now situation would be 10 times different, or I might not have met you or whatever, or might not have like...
No, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in your current life, like not people of the past.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What do you mean, Mum, not met you?
Oh,
I don't know now. Can you tell me later?
No, so...
Why?
Yeah, there's definitely... Okay, if I was to say from today onwards, yeah. Why did I feel like there was something like flying around there? If I was to say from today onwards, yeah.
Can you tell me?
No.
No, late. Obviously after the podcast.
No.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, but it would merely be for selfish reasons.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like
So
like, she was being like this girl. She's being selfish because at the end of the day, you're living your own life. You're not living for, well, obviously, for example, me, I'm living my own life and living for like the people that I love. But also, at the end of the day, like you should be only living.
No, I get that, and I do agree
life.
with that. But there's also the sense of what comes with,
because sometimes even
what comes with people, certain people around that maybe you don't want to, comes with either sacrifice, responsibility. That it's just your responsibility one of your responsibilities to kind of accept that person's there, whether they benefit you or not, but for the sake of others. No, you can't just sell your whole way like being selfish. That's because that isn't.
I feel like it's different because I feel like, for example, my duty as your wife is that different. But if it was for like, I don't know, I'm just saying, given like, for example, your friend, like, yes, they might be really benefiting you. This is not true, but I'm saying they're benefiting you, whatever, but they have no benefit in my life. I don't care. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't
just
talk
because,
about you though.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying you're saying, but just I wouldn't just like. I don't know how to word it, but basically, just because that person is better benefiting you, doesn't mean I need them in my life, or I need to talk to them, or I need to engage in a conversation with them.
No, I'm not saying
But no, but I was saying you just said just for
but
the purpose of being civil.
Well, yeah, there's that, but that's life.
That's being nice. But like, if they had asked me for advice and stuff or whatever, I would just be like, so please go to someone else. Because if they're bringing negative energy.
Yeah, no, there's that, but there's layers.
Otherwise, if you're gonna say just to because you just have to be, then you applied that. What did you just say?
I didn't.
No, say the words you said. No, because I
just
can't
said
remember.
for the sake of, or for the to basically. Yeah, but you haven't let me finish though.
No, I will, but I'm just asking what the words you used.
Because
I can't remember the words you used.
I said for the sake of, or to sacrifice. It's not even sacrifice. It's just responsibility. Like you have there might be friends that you like. For example, there aren't. There might be friends that you like currently that I don't really like. But if I see them and say I feel like they're being negative, and you don't, you feel like you benefit from them, I might be like, well, I get that, but for the sake of you, I'll say hello, hi to them. I won't have like an in-depth conversation with
that's
them.
a bit different because that's between me and you, but if it was like, I don't know, just for the sake of, I don't know, I can give loads of examples to be honest, but I'm not going to. But there is, I wouldn't, because actually they have such a big impact, because if they were so negative towards you, that's going to start affecting me. If they were so negative towards negative energy and you don't see that, it will impact, because if they're around you a lot, like, for example, let's just say Bob, your friend Bob, is around our house all the time, but he's such a negative energy, of course that's going to affect me. I'm not going to... Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, they you might not see it as a negative energy, or negative, or they're...
So what would you do in that situation?
Once again, they're always talking about, oh, so-and-so, oh, this and that. Always just has just literally negative thoughts and negative mindset and doesn't see anything, even if you give so much advice and so much care and things like that. But then, and I'm sitting there listening to it all the time, like, yes, I just probably, if they come over, I wouldn't be in the house. And I'm just giving an example. So even though they might have no effect on you, but actually it will, then that will start impacting me. Impacts me, then it will start impacting us. Because I'll be like, every time they're around, I just feel uncomfortable. For example, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, but it's quite... I get that.
Then that's a situation where, for example, if you said that to me...
Yeah, but there's so many situations like that where people have that, and so then that said person doesn't come over anymore, but I still spend time with them.
Yeah, so then you make that...
And I make the adjustments.
Yeah,
no, so if that were to ever happen, I would make it clear to you, first and foremost, that I don't like them. And then if it kept...
So then that's not a sacrifice. No. I can't remember the word you used.
I can't remember either, but what I was trying to say is, with friends, yeah, that's easy to do.
I still feel like with family as well.
But
that's what I'm saying. That's where you were like, well, no. But still,
no, but there's layers. There's so many layers.
I don't think so.
No, there are so many layers.
I don't think so, because otherwise, if that's a 24/7 thing.
But none of that would be 24/7.
But there's a situation where it is, where it's a 24/7 thing. I'm just saying, and it's like, oh, okay, we get it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, going from past experiences where I have been around someone who's always so negative, and it's just like, it's just so draining, and you're just doing it just for the sake of someone else, just because they're happy in that situation, or not even like a partner relationship. I'm just talking about in general. Like, it could be their friend, or it could be even like their mum, or what's that noise? Or is it? What's that noise? You please stop, because that's really annoying.
Okay, yeah.
Or like a sister or whatever. They just it's got to a point where it will get to a point where you're like, actually, that's really draining. This is now impacting my health.
Well, you see, I get that, and I see what you mean, and like, especially in, like, you see it in a lot of non-cultured, non-Asians families. I've heard in so many stories, and I've been
Yeah,
around,
they just cut
they
brothers
just
and
cut
sisters.
people off, like whether it's a brother or sister or not, whether it's literally direct family, they can be quite quick to just either cut things off or keep a distance. And
But that's like, if you think about it, obviously I know there's like, in our culture it's a little bit different, but if you think about it, like, forget culture, forget everything. Imagine, say for example, you have someone, okay, say for example Saki was so negative, like negative energy. He was always just like down, and he was just, just a negative guy, and all around, and not just personality, not just like, but like, the way he speaks, the way he like body language, everything. And when you sit in a room with him, you're just a bit like, I don't really want to go, like, I don't want to chat with him. Some people are like, I don't even want to talk to them because they're just going to go on about so and so. Like, there's some people at work, I'm like, okay, like, I can't bother to talk to you because all you talk about is just negative stuff. So imagine, okay, Saki is like that, okay? And so now we're going over to mum's all the time. You're soon going to be like, actually, you just go. Because it's going to get to a point where for you, you're like, no, this is not the vibe I want to be in. Like, especially, but even though he's my brother, you still have a right to be like, I might be like, no, that's like, come on. But actually I shouldn't really say it because I don't know how it's impacting you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it's starting to become such a like, whoa, like this is too much now, and it's affecting, every time I go over to your mum's house, like, all it is just, oh, this and that and all, blah. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Okay, but if it was like every so often, do you know what I mean? Then you can have like normal conversations with him, like you do. I mean, Saki's not a negative guy at all, but if he had like a few moments where he's like, oh, I just give up, like, what is the point? Like, there's no point in living, there's no point in doing this, I'm not gonna get anywhere in life. The odd time, like, people let out emotions because they feel like they're going through a rough patch. That's different, but someone who is
so then
constantly...
okay, so say Saki was like that, for example, and I say to you, and it's been like 10, 20 times now, like, I've been around yours and I've not liked it, and I'm starting to get, wait, no, let me finish. I'm starting to get tired of it, and I've already started saying to you, like, I don't want to go over, and then you like bring me over, and out of courtesy to you, I kind of just accepted it and gone. But now I've been like, look, wait, look, because
sorry.
What would you do then if I said to you, look, Aisha, Saqib's so negative that it's affecting me, and you know that I don't like it, and I'm worried that it's now affecting you. I don't think you should be around him. This is a sole hypothetical situation, and I'm using Saqib specifically now. And I say to you, you can't spend. I don't want you to. You can't. I don't think you should see Saqib anymore.
As much or something.
I don't think you should see him until he sorts his situation out, or he becomes...
But because of the type of person I am, and I've already had those the way I am, I don't speak to certain people. Not to say speak to, but I don't engage in conversation. I would be like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but what if... No, but I'm using Saqib as the example.
Yeah, no, I would. If Saqib was like such a negative person, where I am right now in my life, I wouldn't back off. I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't stop talking to him, or I wouldn't be like, you're not my brother anymore, or anything. I wouldn't cut him off. But I would obviously speak to him and just say that this is the situation. I think it's best if we, like, for my own betterment, being around you can cause this. Obviously I'm still here for you, but blah, blah, blah. Only because I know where I am, like I said, right now in my life, where I don't really want to be around people like that, because it's just so draining. Like, it really is. And when I was listening to this podcast, like, there was so many people like popping up in my head, like in the past and in present, and then where I think if I actually didn't speak to them, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Like, I feel like a lot of us
live my life without them. Obviously, I know you're asked about Saqib, but this is more on you. You're saying this, you're affected. If you're just saying, I don't think, you're just saying, I don't think you should spend time with him, and I'm saying, actually, it doesn't affect me too much, then that's different. So I can still see him. If I'm used to him like that, for example, if he's always been like that, I've gotten used to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I feel like if you do end up carrying that mentality, you can kind of end up winding up alone as well.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. In the sense that you still need, like, as human nature, we feed off.
You might be alone. You might feel like you're gonna become alone, but then I would go and look for people who are gonna. So you just go and look for positive people.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying in general.
If you're just thinking about family and you're gonna have no family because every single family member is negative, then why do you want to be in a situation where every single person in your family is negative and you're the only one that's not? Why would you want to be in that?
But this is what I meant, like, there's so many layers to that, though.
I don't know, I feel like it depends, like, if they've gone through something, or they're going through something and it's just like a phase, like I said, like, some people go a couple of years, or like a couple of months, where they go through, like, I've gone through it so many times where I've been in such a low place where I'm like, oh, there's no point. Sometimes I even say, no, there's no point me doing this, no. But then I'm still, like, really positive about other things. It might be a certain element in my life.
Of course.
But if someone who's negative about life in general, and even just talking to them, you're just, and they're like, we're having this conversation now, and they're like, but what's the point? You're saying that, but, and? So? There's no point, I'm not going to achieve anything. Like, do you remember those type of people? I'm not talking about just the here and there, because there'll be some people who literally, every comment, I can be like, oh, I got an ice cream today. Yeah, but when I last got one, it fell on the floor. So what's the point of buying one? Like, that's a really silly example, but that kind of level.
There's different. Yeah, no, you're right.
If it's just
I do get it, but there's also like different kinds of negative energy. Like the example you just used is actually that is draining. Like,
there are people like that.
No, yeah.
And for example, in my life, there are people who are like that, and it's just like, oh my god, sometimes I can't be bothered to engage in conversation with because it's never. They even start the conversation and it's negative, and I'm like, I haven't even spoken to you for like 4 days, and you started the conversation with like, do you know, please stop doing that with the negative energy. Like, why do I want to reply to that? Like, if I'm in such a high and someone's messaging me going, oh, this about something silly, not even like a, oh my god, at job today, so and so said this to me. Like, that's obviously something different. But if it's like, oh, I went to the shops and there was no carrots. Oh my god, like, what the hell? Again, I'm just giving an example. I can't think of like a proper example. Then I don't want to engage in that. Like, do you know what I mean? But if it's like they started a conversation, we're having a chat, and then like, oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know, like, or can I talk to you about something? And then that's different. But there are some people, I don't know about in your life, I know in my life, I'm just like, I actually probably could easily maybe once a month see you and just like deal with it once a month, but not even probably.
But I feel like as adults, you do end up doing that anyway, naturally.
Yeah.
Like it becomes.
But I'm
like
saying
there's no. But there's so many people that before I used to see all the time. I'm not saying they were negative, but it's now phased out because that's adulthood, isn't it? Like you become more focused on your priorities and who you want around or what you're going to do. Like, for example, even silly things like planning weekends now. Like, we have to kind of plan ahead because we prioritise each other first, that's right. Like, that's what we do. No, we do.
Yeah, we do, but then things get in the way. And then we can't prioritise ourselves. Our relationship, I mean. So that's what I'm saying, like, things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it becomes, well, without even realising, we're like, oh, we planned this, and we're like, oh, we've now got to, like, for example, like, I'm meeting, on the 1st of July, I meet my friends, right? And I've planned that for a month now, and I don't care what happens, I'm going to go. Whether we do Eid on that day or not, I'm going to go, because I planned that. Eid is a 3-day celebration, we can do it on a different day. Do you know what I mean? I'm just giving an example, like, if Eid was going to fall on, if it was going to be the 1st of July and that was our Eid day, for example, then yeah, of course, that's a bit different, but Or, do you know what I mean? Then I can't, because there's been situations where I've made a plan, then I've had to change it because of...
When are you meeting them, sorry?
I just told you, 1st of July.
Yeah.
Literally just said 1st of July. Where I've made a plan and I've had to cancel it because something else has come up. Like, I know, yes, family come first and stuff like that, but there's a situation where it's like, actually, that didn't really need to come first because it was really minor. But
What day is the 1st of July?
Look, I'm talking, please.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking. Anyway,
it's a Saturday.
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah. I was thinking of Eid, but Eid's now anyway.
Yeah, it's the week, that's the week of Eid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyway, yeah, no, I get that.
So, yeah, and I've done that in the past where, even like growing up, like mum, like, there's so many times where I've made plans, and then mum goes, oh, but family's coming over. And I've made these plans for like a week or two, and they've decided last minute to come over, and I've got to cancel it. Like that is, like, obviously I know that's not negative energy, but I'm just saying, like, that can become like a really negative because then you're like, you then start to not plan with your friends because you're like, even like now, sometimes when I plan with my friends, or even like at work, we've got 5th of July to go out for dinner or something, or drinks or whatever, like just a goodbye to all the staff. And I'm thinking, oh, like, I'll go, but maybe something will come up, so I haven't said yes. And then it looks bad on me. But I'm not being...
Yeah, but everyone's like that though. Everyone is like that. It's not just Asians or like us. There are loads of even like...
No, I don't know, I don't think so.
I think, no, because that's what...
I think it happens a lot in the Asian community, whereas, like, for example, my friends, I've been so many times like, oh, can you do this weekend? They're like, no, I've already seen so-and-so. But they haven't seen me for like a year. But they already made plans. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just talking about like the 2 girls I'm talking about. We have to plan like months and months because they've already got loads of plans, which is absolutely fine. But then I've not seen you for so long, or we've not seen each other for so long that maybe you could cancel one plan to come, but they won't. Like, they won't do that because they've made a plan.
But I do feel like
if it was like
you're right because it might be like.
Whereas for me, I've made that plan on the 1st of July. But say for example, I don't know, mum and dad come over. Just give an example. I'm like, oh, sorry, like, I can't come. My mum and dad are here now. Whereas they would still go out or say to their mum and dad, look, I made plans. Don't like. Sorry, but I can't. I'm not around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does happen when you're younger. I do remember it happening a lot when I was younger, where I've already made plans with friends. Whether it's even if it's as small as just going to their house, but I've made that plan, and mum or whatever will be like, well, you can't because we're doing this, but 90% of the time, I would just end up going.
Yeah, but that's different. That's different.
Because no, but why is that different? Because a lot of people are like that. They would just still end up going.
Well, yeah, but also I'm different. I'm not like that.
Not all. There were times where I had to cancel on friends, but a lot of the time, especially when I was younger. But when you're older, they start to realise that, and they say, "Can you keep this free? Can you keep that free?" And I did get that.
No, I didn't get that. But maybe because I always just cancelled the plans. Because I just didn't like disrespect the plans like that.
That's not true.
Well, basically.
No, it's not.
Whereas,
no.
like, now, if I said to you, no, you're not going. No, you're not going, but, oh, I want to spend time with you that day or something. You would cancel the plans. Probably.
Well, no, I would, but that's where I'm saying I would prioritise you.
But it's different because we're in a marriage, it's like, obviously.
But that's what I'm saying, like, that's what happens in adult life. Like, I feel like...
No, I get that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how... I'll go back to the negative energy and stuff. I do, after listening to the podcast, I was thinking, I was like, there's actually, like, there is people that... And also, because of the journey that I'm on at the moment of getting closer to my demon and just in general, like, I don't want to be surrounded by people who are not the same level as me. And there are certain people in my life that are not... and it's so hard to have conversations with them. And it's just like annoying. Now it's just getting annoying. I'm just like, well, what do we talk about? Whereas like, it's like really silly, but like when I post the TikTok videos and people comment like, oh my God, like, for example, like someone put, so like today I posted a video the teacher one that I posted.
Yeah.
And someone put, I feel you. I'm a teacher, a hijabi teacher as well, and it can be difficult. It's just something like that. It's been half an hour, by the way.
Yeah.
And so then you can engage in conversation. Then you can, in that conversation, you can talk about how you're feeling. Where someone maybe who doesn't, in my life at the moment, there is no one that is on that level. So I can't even be like, oh, how did it feel? Or has anyone said anything? Or, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't engage in any conversation, like, intellectual. I feel like I don't have any intellectual conversation apart from with you, with anyone, because it's always just, ridiculous, it's just pointless conversations. Like, I can't be asked with them.
I guess with me then, I don't have, I used to have that. Obviously now I speak to, for example, Saqib and Ian about gym stuff, for example, in family related situations.
Yeah, so you can relate.
I can relate now. But before, like, especially when I first started going gym and I was really like bonkers about it, like I would go all the time and like it still is ritual for me to go, like, but now I have people that understand and like you get that I'll just go and there might be still instances now which I feel like you don't get it, but that happens. That's just every so often. Like you might just be in a selfish mood where you just don't want me to go or whatever.
Want to spend time with you.
But yeah, whatever that reason is. But to me, gym is very important, like health wise and mind wise. But anyway, so before it was when I first started going, and I would like say that I can't go at this time because I've got to go gym in the morning, and somebody or mum or dad or whatever would say, but we're going here, like, but in my head I'm like, well, no, because to me gym is important for whatever reason it is important to me. So you're asking me for a favour in terms of dropping someone off or doing this or that. I can't do that because I've got gym, and maybe in that situation I couldn't change the time. So I had no one around me that I could relate to and be like, well, no one could back me and say, oh, he's going to gym. Like, it's just important to him. Like, I do the same thing. I didn't have anyone that I could relate to and have that kind of conversation with.
And then it gets frustrating.
Then it gets frustrating because now I have to explain myself every time that I go gym.
And that's what I mean. That's the negative.
I get that, but in that sense, I then did myself a favour by just going and not telling anyone that I was going gym. I would just go, and then if mum asked, I'd be like, I'm going gym. And then I'd have that conversation. I wouldn't instigate the conversation, ever. And that was because family would just be like, oh, you're going mad now, like, why are you going all the time? Like, for example, it's even now actually, but for example, I used to go, because I really started going gym during uni days of uni. I would go gym AM in the morning, 5 AM, 6 AM like I do now, and then I would go uni, and then I would have work. No.
I'm joking.
Anyway, but I would do that all the time, like 4 times a week, 5 times a week, or whenever I'd go uni, just so that I'd prioritise gym so that I can fit it in my day. But people would be like, you're mad, you're mental, why are you going gym so early? Like, you don't have to, you're going to get ill, but no one understood. But now, if I said that to Saqib, he would understand, like...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, you
But then I found... I didn't find them. They just came in my life.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have any, like, even... No, nothing's come to me.
Yeah, but it's quite specific, the journey that you're on.
I don't think so.
No. For... Considering...
I'm not talking about just journey, I'm talking about in life, like my whole life.
Well, yeah, no, I guess so.
Like, just in... There's people that are around me, they're not... They don't... No one around me, apart from you, and like my brothers, think the way I do. So then it's just very hard to have... Like, I can sit with Saqib and talk for hours with him. The same with Ayan, actually, since obviously now he's a lot grown up and stuff. It was a different one, even though we've got a big age gap. But anyone else, I couldn't. One, because I don't feel like they're really actually listening. And it always turns back onto them and it's about their life. Which again, that's just, what's the point of having a conversation? All you want to do is talk about yourself. And 2, they are not like on the same similar mindset as me. So then when I'm having a conversation with them, now we can speak for hours about this because we both know each other. We both know what we mean. Yeah, we might disagree on things, but that's still a conversation. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if I talk to someone who's like, yeah, but I just can't be bothered, but you don't understand. But you're not even trying, or you're not even. That's not a conversation. Just sit, end of conversation. And then you're like, I'm having to force myself. But okay, so, well, what do you think? Or like, for example, I'll give you an example. I sent a picture when I first put the hijab on. I was like, oh, what do you think? To somebody, and they're like, yeah, it looks nice. What would I say to that? There's nothing to say to that. Like, okay, thank you. Like, or they didn't go, oh, like, what's made you think? Like, people at work have been like, have actually asked me, oh, how comes you've now started to? That's a conversation. And I was able to talk to them.
Some people are socially awkward anyway.
No, not these people are. These people aren't. These people aren't that I'm talking about. I'm just giving you an example. If someone who has no idea about the religion at work can be like, oh, how comes you've made that choice or whatever, and someone who does, and they just go, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I guess like you said, not everyone is
on the same
wavelength as you. Like, yeah. And then it does become hard.
That is draining. To me, that's negative energy, because why would I'm not going to want to engage in conversation with you, because one, we don't have a conversation. Two, you're not really interested in my life in that way to question or think, oh, why are you doing it? It just kind of feels like you're just judging me. And three, yeah, like, I don't want that around me. It just kind of, anyway, but I feel like I can go on forever about this. But I do feel like, regardless of if they're family, friends, a stranger or not, or whatever, if they are negative, then I feel like you are allowed to be selfish.
You can, I agree. Like, you personally can detach yourself from them.
Yeah.
You don't have to openly be horrible and be like...
Oh, no,
I'm not saying you wouldn't.
I'm not talking to you.
But that's what I mean. Like, you don't openly have to be like, look, you are joining, I'm hating being around you, that's it, we're not talking anymore. But you can make it a gradual transition of, look, slowly high.
But then if I did that, I can do that easily. But then I would get a lot of hate. Is what I'm saying. So then that's where I'm not being selfish, because I'm thinking about others. That's what I'm saying. But then that's so draining. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just whereas if I do that, trust me, I would be in a lot better place. Probably mentally, because I wouldn't be like, oh, I've got to think about this person. Oh, I've got to make sure I've got... Do you know what I mean?
But I get that. But there are certain things that are like... It's just a responsibility as a person that you end up having.
I would be a nice person, like, yeah, of course, but if it's not doing anything to my life, if they're not doing anything to my life other than what they're doing, then it's like, well, just because for the sake of someone else, but then they're not realising how much is impacting me.
Yeah.
So why would I put myself through that? Yes, of course, like, I would never be disrespectful or rude or be like, sorry, I don't want to hear it, I'm not interested. But there is like a limit to, well, you know, and that, like, for example, like your mum said about the situation, and she goes, but what happens if you get to a point where you're like, no? But then I made it clear that there will be a point where I expect da-da-da-da. So that's then setting a boundary.
Yeah.
That actually, no, I will be happy to do that, but there is a certain point that I would expect them to do then this.
So that's your duty field as well.
Yeah,
but
because
also,
I'm doing what I'm doing.
But also being... But then it's also making you the positive energy source for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because actually, if that was ongoing for like 3 years, no, sorry, I'm not going to have that. Couple months, yeah, that's fine. 6 months maybe, but after that comes to a point where actually this is like, you know, and that's why I made it clear that, no, there's a point where I expect them to go and do da-da-da, and that's not my responsibility, just because they're here. Do you know what I mean? Because one, for example, the situation we talk about, they're an adult, and two, I'm not their responsibility. Do you know what I mean? Same with you, like, we're not anybody's responsibility. Like, they're not our kids. We didn't give birth to them. We're not feeding them. They have they've got, do you know what I mean? Where if it was like a child coming in, then that's so, or they're literally like on their deathbed, that's something different. But yeah, but then again, in that situation there comes a point where it's like, and that's why if you're, as long as you're like clear, going, look, I will support you, I will do this, but there is also a limit, because I have to still live my life and do what I want to do, to be that person, to do this, to achieve things in my life. And I'm not, sorry, but I'm not going to let you stop me from doing that. But I think that's a positive thing. It's not like, oh, she's being
It also is
rude.
quite influential. It's quite something you can be influenced by.
Yeah.
Because then that person, not just in that situation, but any situation where there's someone who's facing that and you're like, look, I'll do this, and then you got to do this, they might think, well, actually, look how well they're doing, and look at what their example they're setting. Them coming out of that negative situation, coming to a positive situation, could do the world of benefit for that person, and even ourselves, because then we can feel
like we've done something to help.
Like there's a sense of I guess like appreciation for yourself, that you've had such a good impact on someone. Like before we end, just going to mention this now. Just before we end, this morning there was a guy training at the gym.
Oh yeah, they helped you.
No, forget that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to that. But this morning, as I started my workout, there was this other guy who I said, I forced, basically in a positive way, forced him to do another set. He did 3 more sets that he would never have done before. And this was 6:05 or 6:15 a.m. And he said, look, he literally said these words to me, and I'll show you the message afterwards. He sent me a message after. He said these words. He said, it's 6:15 and you've just made my day. Like you've made me do something that I never would have done. And basically he hit a PR at gym, like he hit a heavy weight.
I know what that means.
Yeah, but they might not. And then that happened, whatever. So I just went about. I didn't act like it was an amazing thing. I just did what I did. Like that's what I would do. And then towards the end of my workout, I was doing the handstand stuff that I've been doing, and as you saw, a guy just randomly came and helped me.
So like you got karma.
This is what I said. This has got to be some sort of good karma to him, and he was like, then I explained to him like I did this, and he was like, oh yeah, like of course, but that's because you radiate a certain kind of energy, and you can. When you do that, it gravitates towards you
that's
again.
What I'm saying. So
but sometimes there's going to be a filter system where there's going to be some odd people that come in, or odd things that come in that try and kind of what's it called, like
this is gonna end soon.
It would try and like ruin your.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, but I think there's still a limit.
Yeah, no, of course, there's always limits. But anyway, maybe we can do another conversation on this, and maybe we can
Get a third person.
Get a third person like in on this, and I think that's what we should do with love. Get somebody else in on the love part 2, and see what they say.
But basically, spread positivity, be a good person, and all of that will come back to you, inshallah. No, I really think that, because I feel like when you spend, and I used to be quite a negative person. What? You were gonna say something.
No.
But I feel like I know I was, because there was so many things, and I was I used to moan all the time. Like, I don't feel like I'm like that. I might moan like, oh, I'm tired or whatever, but I'm talking about like bigger.
Do you feel like I'm draining?
No. No. There's like certain things I'm just like, well, you keep saying that, but you're not doing anything about it. But that's something different. But I'm saying, like, I feel like, I'm saying this because I used to be like a really negative person, and the people that I was around were also negative. And I never, that's why I always fell out with friends, and just everything was so negative. And recently I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not positive, but I feel like I have been a bit more positive about life and seeing the future and things like that, in that sense. And there's a little glimpse here and there of some positivity coming in, but I feel like there's a lot more that I would like. But I think I know why I'm not getting it, because I'm not surrounded by positive people. Basically. So I'm doing that to myself. And to be honest, like you have, like you're saying, you can't always be selfish or 100% be selfish in every situation. You can, but also like I can be selfish in every single situation that I want to do, but have in the back of my mind that actually maybe this situation just be a little bit lenient. Do you know what I mean?
You just judge
Because
it by situation.
yeah.
Otherwise, you end up doing
then
so
you get
many
stuck in the
sacrificing
same
for other
situation.
people, and then you don't. Then there's no sense of selfishness.
It's a little thing like say like I made a big sacrifice in this marriage, for example. So I would expect you to do the same thing. But I'm saying that like, but I made that sacrifice and it's been a positive outcome. Alhamdulillah, in that way. But in that situation, like, I feel like it could have been, I don't know, I feel like if I stuck to my guns and it still worked out, it would have been a much better outcome. Even though it's good, but it could have been a much better outcome, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, yes, I did make it, but I chose to make that sacrifice. So you can choose, like, okay, in this situation, I'm not going to, but I could have. So you got that option that actually I can choose to be selfish or for just this situation. But that was like a lifestyle choice, yeah. But if it's like, oh, they're saying let's not go to Pizza Express,
then you can kind of
let's go Wagamama's, then you're like, okay, you just go, yeah, that is a bit different. Or if it's like, oh, I can't do Saturday, can we do Sunday? And you're like, oh, I can't do, okay, maybe this time. Do you know what I mean? Like that's something a bit minor. It might be big for some people, which is absolutely fine, but there are much bigger, bigger scales where it is like a life situation or a death situation type of thing. You're like, no, if I don't take this situation, take this, then I know it's going to be a negative. But because I believed so much in our relationship or your words, even in that situation, that's why I did it. Whereas if I didn't have that, it wouldn't have been. Do you know what I mean? So I'm still waiting for those words too.
Anyway, this has been episode 34. Thank you for listening.
Quite deep.
Yeah. And if you guys are enjoying the episodes, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. You can now interact on Spotify actually. So on Spotify, if you are listening, you can kind of leave feedback. But yeah, this has been episode 34. Thanks for listening. Follow us on the Brownie Chat podcast. We'll be back soon, and
to be continued.